Hello guys, it's Isaac. I am back with another video, and because it is already October and I want to get into the Halloween spirit, we're going to be talking about the worst to best Halloween movies. Now, all of these are just my opinion, so I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. If you disagree, don't get hella salty. Just tell me your opinion of the worst to best in the comment section below. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. Give it a thumbs up, and thanks for watching. Halloween 6 The Curse of Michael Myers is the worst Halloween movie I have ever seen. So we're just going to get straight into the plot. I'm not going to spoil it too much, but before I say my personal critiques of it, I'm just going to say the plot, and you'll just immediately understand why I hate this movie. So Jamie from the last movie has gotten pregnant and her baby is being taken by a cult. That's literally how the movie starts out. She escapes, she gets away with the baby, and now the whole entire movie, this cult and Michael Myers are working together to try to get the baby and also kill Jamie. And yeah, that's fucking, it's just retarded. I don't know what to say about that plot. And you figure out that Michael Myers, this is a spoiler, I guess, but it's pretty fucking stupid. I don't think anyone will care, but you figure out that Michael Myers is actually cursed by this cult, and that's why he wants to kill his family. I don't know why that needed an explanation. I don't know why they thought it would be a good idea to have him cursed by a cult. Have any sort of cult to do with Michael Myers. Like, what the fuck? It makes no sense. Michael Myers is his own thing. Like, he's just a psychopath. He's not a fucking cursed person. He's not. This movie's just a piece of shit. Like, it's so bad. The acting, the story, even the Michael Myers itself looks like shit. My bad, I just hit the mic. But even the Michael Myers itself looks like shit compared to the other movies. Like, I enjoyed every Halloween movie when I was a kid watching this shit. Like, I enjoyed all of them. I thought some of them were worse than others and some were boring in some ways. And then I watched this one and I just realized, wow, that was fucking atrocious. Like, this movie is fucking shit. Like, when I first watched this movie, I was just surprised how shit of a Halloween movie it is. Like, don't get me wrong, a lot of them are shit, but this is by far the worst I've ever seen. Like, when I originally watched this, I was, like, blown away by how bad it was. Because I enjoyed every Halloween in another aspect. Like, even some other Halloween movies were pretty shit, but I found the joy in them somehow. In this one, there is no joy in watching this. And the ninth worst Halloween movie is Halloween 5 Revenge of Michael Myers. Now, I'm just gonna go straight into the plot again. After Halloween 4, Michael lives because, he quote unquote gets killed in a shooting. Of course, he comes back. And this time, he's trying to go back to Haddonfield again to try and kill Jamie once again. But this time, Jamie now is mute from the mental trauma of the last movie and also has telepathic powers between her and Michael Myers, which I don't have to go into why that's fucking absurdly stupid. And Dr. Loomis, I'm pretty sure this is Dr. Loomis's last movie. I'm like 99% sure, has to stop him. Unfortunately, this movie is still shit despite Dr. Loomis being in it. And the main issue I have with this movie is that it's so absurdly boring and stupid, and it's just no part of it to me is entertaining. It's just like Halloween 4 again, but shittier. And I'm not a fan of Halloween 4 either. Like, it's a little bit better than this, but I don't know. Now, the plot isn't nearly as bad as The Curse of Michael Myers in terms of being stupid and absurd, but it still is a pretty stupid plot if you ask me. So this is my ninth worst Halloween movie. The eighth worst Halloween movie of all time is Halloween Resurrection. So this is the point of the series where they completely stop giving a fuck and they just stop taking itself seriously. So I'm gonna get straight into the plot, but warning, this actually does have some major spoilers ahead. So, as you know, in the ending of H2O, this is the continuation. As you know, at the end, Laurie decapitates Michael Myers, which was actually one of my favorite Halloween movies, and it was a very good ending to the series. So how would they continue, ask? With a terribly absurd excuse that Laurie ended up actually killing a paramedic. Which, how would that make sense? Because apparently, Michael swapped clothes with the paramedic, put the clothes on the paramedic even though the paramedic was crushed by a tree, and the paramedic couldn't talk because the tree smashed his vocal cords. So the paramedic couldn't warn Laurie that, he's not Michael Myers, which makes no sense. Um, Now, Laurie, in this movie, it starts off with her in a mental hospital, and guess what's going to happen in the first 15 minutes, you say? Well, exactly what you wouldn't expect, which is that Michael Myers just fucking kills her in the first 15 minutes, like she's not an important character, which is fucking absurd. How could you kill her in the first 15 minutes? And in this movie, she's like not even taken seriously, she's just a psychopath. Now, the plot of this movie, the main plot, is that Busta Rhymes, yes, the fucking rapper, is starting up a web show online where these teens go around the old Myers house exploring, blah, blah, blah. They end up getting slaughtered. What did you expect? This movie doesn't take itself seriously in any aspect, and it's very absurd and not entertaining, and has horrible acting. But I will tell you the one way it is halfway decent. Get a bunch of friends together and get ready to make fun of this movie. Don't take it seriously, just get all your friends together and get ready to laugh and make fun of this movie, because that is the only way this movie is worth watching, and that is how I personally watch it. If I ever do, I just smoke a joint and then fucking make fun of it the whole time. That's the best way to watch this. The 7th worst Halloween movie is Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. So again, I'm going to go straight into the plot. This being 10 years after the last one, which is the second movie, and Michael is in a coma and he's being transported to another hospital. He kills the people in the ambulance and he escapes as expected. His goal in this movie is to kill his niece Jamie. This is the first movie with Jamie in it. Jamie has nightmares of Michael despite not knowing him or his existence. And she goes trick-or-treating on Halloween night with, I'm pretty sure, her foster sister. I may be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure it's her foster sister, Rachel. And Michael Myers starts stalking them. And in this movie, the sheriffs in the town and Dr. Loomis have to protect Rachel and Jamie. And the main reason I have an issue with this movie is the ending. And I'm just going to go straight to the ending. So, spoilers ahead. The ending is they quote-unquote kill Michael. Of course they don't. And Jamie ends up killing her foster sister back at their house. This movie isn't that bad at all. It has its very special moments and actually is one of the better ones on this list. So this is the first movie I kind of enjoyed on this list. Like, I definitely watch it again. I'm not disappointed when I watched it. I just really hated the ending. Like, the ending to me was absurdly stupid, especially since in Halloween 5 they just completely forget about the ending they had with Jamie. And I don't understand why she would kill her foster sister in the end. Like, the ending of this movie is so stupid to me, especially for such a pretty decent return to the franchise. I can't speak. But this movie is pretty decent. It's definitely better than the rest on this list. It's definitely the first movie on this list that is worth watching. It is actually pretty good. But again, the ending ruins it for me. So before I go into the 6th worst Halloween movie, I know 90% of people will disagree with me and be mad that this is on the list. But I have a very solid explanation as to why it's so high on the list. So before you guys get mad, please listen all the way through and I will give the reason why. So you guys may or may not disagree with me on why this is so high on the list. So this is the 6th worst Halloween movie. So the 6th worst Halloween movie is the Halloween 2 remake. And before I go into the one single reason why this movie is so high on the list, I'm going to go through the plot and every reason I hate this movie. Because trust me, there is reasons I hate this movie. So let's go straight into the plot. This movie is a year later from the remake, and it is about him going after Laurie again, but this time Laurie's mental health in this movie is absolute shit, and she's basically going crazy over thinking about Michael and the traumas of the last movie. And again, before I go into the single reason this movie is so high, let me start with what I hate, because I know everyone's mad at me right now and yelling at their screen, telling me I'm a dipshit and this should be the worst movie on the list. And there's a lot of things I hate about this movie, so let's just go straight into it. Number 1 is I've seen this movie like 5 times, and every single time, I do not know what the fuck is happening. The plot is confusing as shit. Then again, I don't watch this movie for the plot, because it's a shit movie. But, yeah, the plot is fucking absurd. The second is all the characters, and I mean every single one in this movie, is a fucking prick. None of them are likable, all of them are annoying, and all of them are cunts. Even Dr. Loomis is a money-hungry cunt in this movie. He just treats Michael as shit and uses his story for money. So yeah, he basically ruins Dr. Loomis's name in this movie, which is fucking stupid. I don't know why you thought that was a good idea. The third is Michael doesn't even wear his mask half the fucking movie, and he also has visions. But he's Michael Myers. He's not supposed to be walking around like a fucking hobo with his face out. Like, he's Michael Myers. The mask is a part of him. You're not supposed to see his face. And he also talks in this movie right at the end. This is a spoiler. But when he kills Dr. Loomis or stabs him, I'm not sure if he dies. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure he does. He says, "Die," and stabs him. Like, he's Michael Myers. Michael Myers isn't supposed to fucking talk. He's supposed to be a quiet... It's just so stupid. It doesn't fit Michael at all. And when he kills people in this movie, he grunts like a fucking dog. Like, Michael Myers is supposed to be completely silent. I don't understand why they thought this was a good movie to fucking just ruin Michael. And he also has visions of his mom and shit, and him as a kid. So that to me is just fucking stupid, how he has visions and shit. Now, this is the one reason I like this movie. The one reason is this movie is so high on the list is this movie, out of any other Halloween movie in the franchise, out of any movie, has the best, most brutal kills. I love the kills in this movie. The kills in this movie are amazing. And it's so sad that the rest of this movie is so fucking trash, because this movie is actually, like, legit trash. But the kills in this movie are great. They're the most brutal, most violent, just most dark and grim kills in the series, which perfectly defines what Michael Myers is. Just a brutal, savage killer. In this movie, they show that perfectly, especially in this scene right here that I have on the screen. And it's just sad, because I don't think anyone can argue that this movie has the best kills in the series, if you like brutal type kills. But it also has the worst plot. Well, I wouldn't say it has the worst plot in the series, but it's definitely up there. It's definitely one of the worst. If it wasn't for the kills in this movie, this would definitely be my second worst. I still like it better than The Curse of Michael Myers, but it's not far from it. But again, the kills in this movie are fucking great. The number 5 worst Halloween movie, or best, is Halloween 2. Now I'm going to say this is the 5th best, because no part of me hates this movie at all. And I know some of you are mad that I have this so close to Halloween 2 remake, but I will say right now, that is much, much better plot-wise. So the plot is that it's taking place right after the events of the original Halloween movie. And in this one, Michael Myers follows Laurie Strode to the hospital, once again attempting to kill her. This movie to me is pretty decent. It does have its moments I love, such as this scene, which has spoilers in it, at the end of the movie where Laurie shoots Michael in the eyes and he is blinded, and also when Dr. Loomis nearly sacrifices his life saving Laurie by blowing up the room. And I think this movie is pretty good as a standalone movie. Like, as a standalone movie, if I've never seen Halloween, I'd find this to be a great slasher movie. But compared to the original Halloween, to me, it's lackluster. Like, as a standalone, as I said, it's pretty good. But if you watch this right after watching the original Halloween, you're going to be like, oh, this movie's not that great. It's pretty boring. It's pretty dull. And I don't dislike this movie at all, but it's definitely not one of my favorite ones. It just stands here at number 5. Like I said, the main problems I have with this movie is it being boring, and also the fact that Michael's mask in this movie, to me personally, looks pretty bad, especially since Michael's hair is slicked back. I don't know what that's about. Now, I enjoyed this movie thoroughly, so please don't get mad that Halloween 2 Remake is right above it. I promise you that this movie is much better than the remake, and it is definitely one of the good ones, and I know a lot of people will have it higher on this list, but for me personally, it is number 5, and I'd give this movie a solid 6.5 out of 10. Like I said, it's just boring to me. I know people would disagree, but that's how I feel about it. So on to number 4. The 4th best Halloween is Halloween 2018. Now, I'm going to say something real quick before I go into the plot and my thoughts on this movie, and that is, I know I've sounded very critical of every movie in this list so far, all the Halloween movies. I sound like I don't like them because I've been criticizing them very harshly, but I just want to say that I enjoy all of the Halloween movies in some aspect, besides Halloween Resurrection, Curse Michael Myers, Halloween 2, but I'm gonna be honest, like, I've been very critical, and I sound like I hate this franchise, but don't get me wrong. I love these movies. I'm just being very harsh on critiquing them, as that's the point of this list. So don't get me wrong, I enjoy them. But anyways, let's just get straight into this. So this movie is pretty much a direct sequel to the original Halloween, as if the 1981 version did not happen. And I do enjoy this one a little bit better. Now, the plot, with not many spoilers, because I'm not going to spoil the movie for y'all, is that Michael Myers returns after 15 years of being in a mental asylum, and he finally escapes to kill Laurie. But this time, Laurie is prepared, as she is paranoid from the events of the original, and she is also living in a fortified house and such. Excuse me. And this was the first Halloween movie that I actually saw in theaters, as I was old enough to, and I was super excited because I've never seen a Halloween in theaters. And I'm going to say that this movie isn't great by any means, but it is pretty good. And without saying spoilers, I can say it is a solid sequel and has great nostalgic moments. And I do love the mask in this movie. This movie has a great mask, just like the Halloween remake, Halloween 2 remake. And my main problem with this movie is that it has very generic moments, and it does not push the boundaries at all with originality. And I really wish they did push the boundaries in this movie with being original. I wish they did something different. I wish they switched it up more. And it's not like a carbon copy remake of the original or anything. It is a standalone sequel, but to me, it just seems kind of generic. Like, they could have done much more with it, and I'm really hoping with the sequels that are coming out in the next year or two, I really hope that these two coming sequels do push on the originality and do try harder than this one, because this one is a good sequel and it works, but it really could have been so much more. This movie's worth a watch, but I wouldn't tell a friend about it. And it's not bad by any means, don't get me wrong, but to me, it was a little bit disappointing. Like, I walked out thinking, okay, that movie was pretty good, gave it a rewatch, and I was like, it's still pretty good, but I don't know, they could have done more. So, on to number 3. So the third best Halloween movie to me is Halloween 2007. Now, I know a lot of people are face palming and getting mad and just thinking I'm a complete idiot, but I'm just going to go into why I think this. Now, I know 70% of people disagree with me that this movie is actually pretty good, but here's why I like it. From the perfectly casted Tyler Mane as Michael Myers, just a 7-foot giant, past pro wrestler, being Michael Myers is perfect. They casted Michael perfectly. He is terrifying in this movie. I really love the backstory of Michael's childhood. I know a lot of people don't like that and how they wanted it to remain a mystery, but you gotta understand that this is Rob Zombie's Halloween. This isn't a carbon copy remake. I mean, there's a lot of parts in the second half of the movie that are very similar to the original Halloween, but Rob Zombie takes his own spin on this movie. And a lot of people don't like how much he changed the story, how he showed the background of Michael, etc. But I personally love it, how it isn't like almost the same movie, because a lot of remakes are just carbon copies. And yes, this movie does have a lot of references to the original, but it also has much more originality than most remakes do, and I respect Rob Zombie for that. Now, to make people feel better, I will go into some things that I dislike, and a lot of people dislike the characters in this movie, how they're southern hicks, they're a bunch of redneck pricks. But you guys gotta understand that this is a Rob Zombie movie. If you've ever seen a Rob Zombie movie, Devil's Rejects, House of a Thousand Corpses, Lords of Salem, etc., you're gonna realize that he has a lot of hick, redneck, prick people. That's just the type of movies he makes. And I understand why not a lot of people are into that, but to me, I honestly do not mind it at all. Now, there is a few things that I actually do dislike about this movie, such as Michael Myers' dad when he is a child. He is a complete prick, but that's his character, that's who he's supposed to be. And also the last 30 minutes of this movie to me are really boring. The last 30 minutes just drag on, and it could have ended a lot earlier than they did. It didn't have to be in an hour 50-minute movie. It could have been a lot shorter. They definitely did drag on the ending. I do not like the second half as much as I do like the backstory of Michael Myers as a kid, and also when he breaks out of the asylum and such. Now, like I said, I know a lot of people are mad that I think this is one of the best ones, but it definitely is. It has great kills. It has great characters. Well, that's debatable, but I like the characters personally. I know a lot of people don't, but I do, especially Danny Trejo, RIP. He didn't deserve to die in this scene. He was good to you, Mikey. Come on. But I really enjoy this movie. To me, it is very great. I know people disagree. I know everyone's gonna give me an explanation as to why this movie is shit, how Rob Zombie fucked the series up. But if you've never seen this movie and you're a fan of the Halloween franchise, go into this movie with an open mind, expecting it to be different from the original. Okay, that's an L on my part, guys. Sorry, I got cut off. But if you have seen other Rob Zombie movies, especially, you should go into this movie with an open mind, just taking it as a completely new Halloween movie. Do not treat it as a remake. Just treat it as a reimagining of the Halloween franchise. And you might like it or you may still dislike it. I'm not sure. But just give me your opinion of this Halloween down below. I think this is extremely overrated, but I know a lot of people will disagree. I mean, underrated. This movie is extremely underrated. I know a lot of people will disagree, but that is just my personal opinion. If you disagree, that's completely fine. Please comment down your list down below. And on to number 2. My second favorite Halloween of all time goes to Halloween H2O 20 years later. So the plot of this one is 20 years later after the original movie. Laurie Strode is now back, living under a fake name in Northern California. She works as a head mistress at a private school where most of the movie takes place, with her son also being a student at the school. So Michael again returns, tracking her down to Northern California, and is attempting to kill her and her son. So this movie to me is personally great. Setting wise, most of the cast is great, and especially the awesome scene that was promoted everywhere where Michael and Laurie are face to face in between those doors, and then Michael just disappears. And this would have, to me, been a great, fantastic way to end the series, which of course they didn't. Gotta milk it for all it's worth. And they had to, continue this movie with the terrible resurrection. But there is a few things that I do dislike about this movie. One being is some of the humor in this movie is just stupid. They try to have a lot of humor in this movie that just doesn't work. Sometimes it works perfectly, but sometimes it's just like, why was that in the movie? This is a Michael Myers movie. Why is there stupid ass humor? But that's just me. And there's also that one scene where Michael Myers is in the kitchen about to kill this one kid, and he has a CGI mask on, and it just looks really, really bad. Just really bad. I don't know why they did that and thought that was a good idea. And also the mask in this movie is, a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people do. I'm personally one of the people who likes it. I'm a big fan of this movie. I thought this was a great return to the franchise and a great way to end the franchise. Let me know if you agree to this one. And now we are going to be going on to the number 1 best Halloween movie of all time. Really wonder what this is. I bet you guys have no clue. The best Halloween movie of all time goes to Halloween 1978. Like anyone is surprised at all. So I don't have to give many reasons as to why this movie is the best in the series and an overall horror movie classic. The plot of this movie is also widely known as 90% of people have seen this. And if you haven't seen this movie, please, what are you doing? Go watch this. Just stop the video right now. Just go watch the movie. But a short summary anyways is that Michael Myers goes to Haddonfield to stalk and kill his sister Laurie Strode, with Dr. Loomis trying to protect and save her. And as I said, this movie is a classic film with the amazing Donald Pleasance as Dr. Loomis, Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode, and a classic performance of Nick Castle as Michael Myers. And I'm very happy to hear that Nick Castle is returning to the newest Halloween coming out, as he was already I'm pretty sure he was in some scenes of Halloween 2018, but I do not think he was the only one who played Michael. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm glad that they have him coming back. It's just awesome to me. Um, this movie really pushed the whole slasher franchise as a whole, relying on great acting, cinematography, and an amazing original story. And when this movie came out, this was really something special. This movie was really pushing the boundaries, and I think it's what the franchise needed, because this movie is absolutely great. This is not only one of the best Halloween films of all time, but it is also one of the best horror movies ever made. And I don't think a lot of people can argue that this is classic and one of the best horror movies ever made. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed this list. If you did disagree with me, just comment down below what your opinion of the worst and best Halloween movies are. I know some of you will disagree, so just comment down what you guys think in the comment section below. If you guys disagree, if you agree, just let me know. And also, just gotta clarify, the reason I did not have Halloween 3 Season of the Witch on here is because that movie did not have Michael Myers, so that did not count on my list. And it's also the one Halloween movie that I've never seen, and I also refuse to see because it doesn't have Michael Myers in it. It's just really stupid to me. Maybe I should check it out. Maybe I'm being too judgmental. Maybe I'll check it out someday. But if you guys want any other future lists like this, like the best kills in the Halloween franchise, worst to best Saw movies, just let me know. Please give me your constructive criticism in the comments below. Tell me how I could improve my videos, what you guys would like to see from me in the future. And yeah, this has been Isaac. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys have a great day.